Good morning. How you feeling? How you feeling? How you feeling? Hey, I said good morning. How you feeling? How you feeling? How you feeling? It's breakfast with Bob.
Poncho Man! Welcome to day 3 of Breakfast with Bob. We are presented by EAS Sports Nutrition, Cliff Bar, Timex, Roca, Tanyapura Resort, Rudy Project, and Slow Twitch with us. It's not just Breakfast with Bob, it's Breakfast with Hall of Famers. Heather Fuhr, Lori Bowden, about to be inducted into the Ironman Hall of Fame. Heather, let's talk a little bit. Both you guys really were age group folks before getting into this. You growing up, running, and your boyfriend Rock was the tri guy. When did you come to the dark side and decide that you're going to try triathlon?
You know, it took a while. I was very skeptical to start with. I thought, who would want to do that?
Exactly.
Who in their right mind would want to do anything other than run? I mean, really, right? So, but being a runner, as typical runners do, you get burnt out, and I did. And I was watching Rock do his triathlons and went and watched, and I thought, oh, maybe I could try, but I couldn't swim. So I had to learn to swim. And
Lori can relate to that.
Yeah, and then I just, I don't know that I ever actually learned to swim, but enough to get through.
We're talking 15 Ironman wins around the world, 5 Lake Placid, and then here, 1997, which the culmination of being here a number of times. Talk about that day and what that meant to you, and when you felt that, oh my God, I'm going to win this thing.
Yeah, I don't know that I actually felt that until pretty close to the end, because as we know, anything can happen here. But it was a great day. It was, I don't know that I ever thought that I would win this. I think other people had more confidence in me than I did.
Yeah.
And so certainly it was a surprise to me.
Yeah.
But running down, Elite Drive, winning, it's something you dream of, but it really was a dream. It wasn't something I thought that was going to happen particularly then.
There was also, Paul Newby-Fraser was very instrumental in you winning that race because, like you said, other people believed in you before you believed in you. Talk about what she brought to the table for you in terms of just the discipline, the dedication to work on the swimming and the cycling and the stuff that you weren't necessarily great at.
Yeah, Paula is the consummate professional in all senses of the word. She amazing athlete, but more so probably taught me how to be a pro and what it takes. How hard work does pay off, but she's so knowledgeable in the sport, and she shared that with me, and and she shared it with me to the expense of her race, really. So I feel like she probably could have 9 wins here had she not put all of her energy into me, and she really did. And it paid off, it worked well, but so she had that faith in me.
Love it.
From the start.
So Lori, your role model, if I'm correct, your mom had done this race 3 times, right?
Well, actually, the first person was my dad.
Your dad,
okay. Had come over here and done this race.
Your dad did it too?
He was the first one who did any of this crazy thing.
Were you a runner growing up? What were you?
I was a runner, so I did, like Heather,
Heather.
Lots of running, and I couldn't swim. I didn't own a bike, so...
Now, were you over here when your dad did this?
No, I didn't even come over. I thought that...
Silly.
I was a little bit worried. I thought that he might die that day because I'd only seen it on TV and...
People crawling
saw people
and
crawling across the line, and so I didn't really know what my dad was in for, except that he came to this hot place and everybody bought white shirts and white cycling shorts, and they went out there in the heat and hoped they made it to the finish line at some point.
And then from your dad, then your mom get into it
And then
next?
my mom started it, and my dad stopped, and he became the ultimate
support guy,
spectator and cheerleader, and my mom and I sort of got into it at the same time.
Yes. So when you came over here, first you came over as an age grouper, correct?
Yeah, back in 1989, and I think that was the year that Mark and Dave had their battle.
Yes.
And I thought, I was here.
Yeah. And after that, did you feel like, okay, I like this, I want to become professional, or was it a process?
No, I came back one more year as an age grouper, and then a couple of years I didn't come back, and I really missed it, and I thought I wanted to try to come back to Hawaii, and I came with a friend of mine, Jocelyn Muir, and we would just laugh. We saw all the people, and we'd look at the lists of great people, and we laughed to ourselves, and we said, we are never in our lives going to ever be in the top 10 or the top 20 or the top 30 here, but we loved coming.
Well, and then if you look at from, we talk about Marinda Carfrae now from her first time here in 2009 getting second and then winning. And she has, over the last 7 years, she hasn't been off the podium, 1/3, or a couple seconds, and 3 wins. But your stretch from 97-03 where you went second, first, second, third, first is as good as anybody in history. You probably didn't even know that, but when you look back, when did you feel, was it that second place in 97 where you felt like, okay, you know what, I could actually win here?
I don't know ever coming to this race that you ever think that you can win it, because you know how difficult it is and how the day changes, and no matter who is in the race, there are always new people coming up, and just the day is so long, so you never really think that. But I don't know what year it was. I placed 8th. I think, and I was like, wow, this is unbelievable that I could be in the top 10. So that was confidence building. And then the year Heather won, it was so inspiring, and it seems more attainable when you see somebody that you really know and another Canadian.
Right.
It's just so different from, you always feel like you're in the race, but you're spectating at the same time, watching all these other great people that you know.
It's funny because I remember watching a piece on the Ironman show back in the day, and it was like you guys at VG Donuts, and you going to grandma's house for cookies. And I was like, okay, it's training, but it's social, right?
Yeah.
There was something, you can't just go out there and put in those hard miles every day.
No, and I had lots of opportunities to train with Heather, and we always did what we needed to do, and there was a lot of hard training, but it was fun doing it. And there weren't a lot of people that I would even do the training with. But Heather was just a great friend and so smart, and we just did what we needed to do when we'd go out training. And so it wasn't, it was just fun doing it. Yeah.
So Heather, when training with Lori, what did you gain from training with Lori? We'll give her that thing.
Obviously, a lot of fitness.
Right. Yeah, pushed each other. You need that.
We did, and as Lori said, I think the great thing is we went out and got done what we needed to do, but it was never competitive. We pushed one another, but it wasn't, there's not a lot of people that you can go and train with where they're not trying to race you.
Somebody has to have their wheel a little in front of the others.
Exactly. So we did what we needed to do, and we went out there. Lori was obviously a stronger cyclist than I was, so it was always great to go out and see, be with her and ride with her, because she was very strong. So that was always great.
The two of you are getting inducted in the Hall of Fame together, which seems appropriate, right? And what made Lori great, Heather? What was it about her mental makeup that made her great?
I could tell you from training with Lori, amazing athlete, but when that gun went off, there was something that changed in her. I don't know what it was.
A person you didn't recognize, huh?
No, yeah, as far as she could there was another level she took herself to that on race day, and obviously by her results, you can see that. And I think she enjoyed the training, but she is and was a true competitor, and on that day, that's what she went out there to do. And it was, like I say, she took herself to another level that you would never see out there in training, and she could do that. And not a lot of people can do that.
The other thing that happened in the late 90s is when Ironman expanded and went into Lake Placid and Panama. But the first one was Lake Placid. And I think you won the inaugural, if I'm not mistaken. Did you win that first one? Yeah, and you won 5 there. What was it about that course that suited you? And all of a sudden you think about it, at that point, you either got to go to Europe or Canada or here. People don't quite understand that there wasn't a lot of money to be. There was no events in the United States for a longer distance athlete. Talk a little bit about the growth of those events and how important that was to your career.
It was amazing to see the sport grow like that, and to start in Lake Placid. I always loved tough courses, and that's the courses that I did better at. I was never a powerful cyclist, so if I could get some hills, that helped a lot. And so that's why I like Lake Placid. But for us to be then given the opportunity to race at races, other Ironman races in the country was amazing. What that helped us to then race more and get that experience, I think.
When you look at it now and you look at the pros in this day and age, and they've got 40 full Ironmans, they've got 80 70.3s. There's a lot of opportunity out there. I mean, do you feel good about where the sport is at and where Ironman is at?
I do. You know what? I think there are great opportunities for athletes these days, and pros in particular, to make a living and to go and do those races. You know, I think we were fortunate that we were at we started at the beginning of that wave.
Yes.
You know, somebody like Paula, when she first started, there weren't a lot of choices.
No.
And now athletes can race around the world any time of the year and find a competitive field.
Right. So, Lori, this is the first time you're back here since when?
I haven't been back here since 2006, so it's been a long time.
What did it feel like getting off the plane yesterday or whenever it was?
Well, I always feel like Kona and Hawaii it's got its own bit of magic compared to anywhere else in the world, and it smells different, and it just feels different when you get here. And it's changed a lot, but it's changed a little at the same time. There are thousands upon thousands. It seems like more triathletes here than ever. It's unbelievable.
And they've been here for weeks.
Yeah. But Kona itself is always a special place. It's I think you're privileged if you get to come here. So it's nice to be back and to see the people. Yeah. I don't know, life just keeps going on and it goes by so fast, and to see people I haven't seen in 9 years.
Does it feel almost like a different lifetime for you? Or is it just something that's
very
like close
yesterday,
to the surface? Yes, yeah.
You know, and when I saw everybody yesterday too, nobody's changed. Everybody looks the same. I don't know what.
Dave Scott, Mark
I don't know
Allen,
how
everybody.
that can be.
Yeah,
so.
well, you guys don't change. You guys all look exactly the same.
And it's. I mean, I miss seeing everybody that that was your friends and family, and now it's nice to see everybody again. So.
What do you look back at as your best race here? Is the one you enjoyed the most?
Oh, I don't know. Coming along a Leahy Drive is always super amazing. And when I won it the first time to come across the finish line, and I saw Mark Allen standing there with a microphone, and he was going to interview me, and I couldn't believe that Mark Allen was going to interview me. And so that was amazing. And so I was in disbelief of that. And it was a pretty special moment, or to look back on a photo and see that, or Karen Smyers standing at the finish line and then being in the same picture as Mark Allen and Karen Smyers, or finishing and having Heather there. And so all those moments were pretty amazing. So there are just so many moments like that I don't think you can pick out a single one.
What I love is a lot of times people, get a win, like Heather got the win in 97. It's hard to win this again, right? It's very difficult to win this again. And to do it 4 years later and to win it again, that had to be special.
Yeah, I mean, you just never know when it's going to happen again, or if you're ever going to be in the top 10 again. That's how difficult this race is. You can count on nothing here. So I think because it's so hard, you're first of all always happy to make it to the finish line. Yes. Because no matter what, you've gone through some difficulties that day. Right. So just making it to the finish line, even though it sounds so cliche, it's something every time, and you've gone through some battles during the day to get there.
Tonight, you guys are getting inducted into the Hall of Fame over at the Palace. What does that mean to you?
It's pretty surreal. I mean, it's to be included with all these people that we've looked up to all these years, and to think that you're a part of that is amazing, and to go in with Heather is special. I mean, I can't think of anybody else I would rather do that with, so I feel fortunate that I get to share that with her. And
the other thing, I always love people who change the game, and you were the first woman to go under 3 hours here for the marathon. That's something that's always stamped out there, because people for a long time thought no guys could go under 3 hours, and then Dave did it, and then 2:55 and 2:50.
Now they go way under 3
Now
hours.
they're going what? And now Rinny's going. But think about it. It's been a long time since you raced here, and Rinny's going 2:50. But that's just happened in the last couple of years. And did you even realize you were going that fast that year?
I think you go as fast as you can, because you never know what will happen. Even if you have a mile to go to the finish line, you're always scared that you're going to have a meltdown and somebody else is going to be running faster. So you pretty much just go as hard as you can.
Love it. So Heather, do you look at the 97 race as your greatest race, or was there another one?
I think, obviously it stands out in my mind because you won, but I think probably, as Lori said, there's many that stick out in my mind as well. And some of the ones that probably didn't go as well as I had hoped probably are ones I remember more than anything. When you push through those times that you aren't feeling good and you sort of salvage it for a decent race, I think.
Right.
I think those are some of the ones I probably remember more. The win is, as Lori said, surreal.
Right.
You don't, it's a dream, and it's not something that, until you can reflect on it later, that you really understand and appreciate how great it was.
Love it. What's it going to mean to you to not just go in the Hall of Fame, but to go in with Lori?
Well, I mean, Lori and I have been great friends forever, and as she said, it wouldn't seem fitting to go in without her, and so. So it's going to be fun. Yeah, it's going to be great.
So, are you a cookie maker as well, or is that just Heather?
Well, Heather is the famous cookie maker.
But you?
I could probably use a few lessons from her, but I do like to bake a lot, and I just read a recipe and try things out, and I try to share it with my friends. And so sometimes some of the other moms will come over, and we'll try to figure out some new recipes and what we are good at baking and not baking.
Love it. And you're a mom.
Yeah.
How fun is that?
It's awesome. Wouldn't trade it for anything. Every day is a great adventure, and you get to live through your kids.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, and you stop and smell the flowers.
Love
it's nice.
Well, it's wonderful to have you here. I know Heather enjoys having you here. Thank you both. Congratulations on going into the Hall of Fame. Again, this is Breakfast with Bob. We are presented by ES Sports Nutrition, Cliff Bar, Timex, Roka, Tanyapura Resort, Rudy Project, Slow Twitch, and our main man, Poncho Man.
Oh, good morning. How you feeling? How you feeling? How you feeling? Oh, and I said, aloha, kakayaka. How you feeling? How you feeling? How you feeling? It's Breakfast with Bob.
Poncho Man.
Aloha Wednesday, everybody.